Hey everybody, Coach Brandon here again. Last week we talked about defending the double underpass. Okay, Sam, can you lay on your back? Put your head toward the camera, please. So last week we were looking at how to defend a pass when our opponent goes under both of our legs, hence the name double underpass. Okay, so reach across the center, pressure in, and coming around the corner. This week, we're going to focus on defending the over-under pass. Now, like the name implies, this is going to be a situation where we go over one of our opponent's legs and under the other. A double under has us going under both legs. An over-under is when we stay under on one side and we go over the other, hence the name over-under. Now, some key features of the over-under pass are good shoulder placement and good head placement. This is going to be a pass where my hips are up high, my head is low, driving down into my opponent's hips, pinning their hips in place. With their hips pinned in place, I look to cover my opponent's knee and back step. Okay, I just want you guys to understand the pass so that you guys can understand the defense a little bit better. Okay, when you understand one side of the coin, it helps you understand the other. So for the over-under pass, I'm going to start out by getting over one of my opponent's feet. And I'm going to lock my good position in by putting all my weight into the shoulder and the belly, and my head here in the side of the hip, grabbing the belt or the pants here. So I come in, good shoulder position and good head position. Now here, once I have my good positions, I tripod up. I'm going to walk over my partner's knee, and then I back step my right leg out. So that's the over-under pass, and we kill the hips, and then eventually we have to work our way from this position up to our opponent's head and shoulders to actually get a good pin. So if that's the pass, how are we going to defend it? I'm going to look at 4 different methods. I'm going to show you guys 4 different methods this week to help defend against the over-under pass. We already looked at how the shoulder and the head position help to anchor our opponent, or help our opponent anchor us in place so they can pass. Again, our opponent's shoulder position in the belly and our opponent's head position outside of our hip help them to lock themselves in position, controlling our hips so they can pass. So 2 ways that we're going to look at defending this. 1, we can challenge the shoulder position, or 2, we can challenge the head position. And then lessons 3 and 4 are going to be about off-balancing our opponent to one side or the other. The over-under pass also commits both arms to the leg. One over, one under. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control one of my opponent's arms and off-balance them to that side. So essentially, our 4 different lessons are going to be challenge the shoulder position will be 1, challenging the head position will be 2, controlling our opponent's right sleeve and off-balancing them to their right will be 1 of them, and controlling our opponent's left sleeve and off-balancing them to their left will be another. So challenge the shoulder, challenge the head, off-balance to the right, off-balance to the left. Let's look today at that first one, challenging our opponent's shoulder position by framing on the shoulder. Let's get started. So let's go with this view here. So Sammy's going to take one of my legs. She's going to stuff it between her legs. She's going to get an under grip on the other leg. And then she's going to look to come in with good shoulder and head position. Right here, she tripods up. Ideally, I don't want her to get this close. Okay, if she gets this close, I'm probably going to be looking at challenging the head position next. But what I can do is I can anticipate this. So as Sammy tries to come in, I frame on the shoulder.
I never allow the shoulder to get down to my belly. There are instances where sometimes the shoulder gets down, she tripods, and I'm able to tripod myself and frame the shoulder away. That does happen in some instances, not all the time. It really depends on how good your opponent is with the pressure. But ideally, we want to stop that shoulder from coming in right away at all. So as I see her coming in for the over-under, I frame the shoulder, and since I'm using a hand frame, I'm locking the elbows out. While I'm framing the shoulder, she's tripoding up, trying to pressure in. I'm gonna get a cross collar grip right here. And I'm gonna use that cross collar grip now to frame against her left shoulder. So I'm challenging the shoulder position. So now that I have her left shoulder framed against, I'm gonna use my left knee to frame against her right shoulder. Sammy, can we rotate a little bit like so? Perfect. So I'm framing against Sammy's left shoulder here. Now my left knee is going to come in front of her right shoulder. So as I push her away, watch how my left knee comes in and connects to my hand. So now I have my shin and knee framing against her right shoulder, and my hand framing against her left shoulder. So now when she tries to put that same pressure on that she was before, it's just not very meaningful. I can hold this off for a good amount of time. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to retract my left knee and put my left foot on the shoulder. So I'm going to go here, left foot on the shoulder, and now I can look to use my left foot to start pushing her away, creating more space. I'm going to put my right foot on the hip. And now I have our same 4 points of connection that we've been looking at. Cross collar, straight cuff, foot in the hip, foot in the bicep. And these 4 points of connection are going to allow me to go into an offensive cycle. So let's look at the technique again. Remember, this first lesson is all about challenging our opponent's shoulder position, framing against the shoulder, not letting it get to our belly. So Sammy goes to get over the leg. She's going to try to commit to the over-under. I have to see this, and I have to block this shoulder right here, framing against the shoulder. I transition to a cross collar grip, and I use that cross collar grip to frame against the shoulder. Now we're going to frame against the other shoulder with our left knee. So I'm going to push away with my hands as my knee slips inside the shoulder. Now when she tries to pressure in, she can't come in. Now I'm going to convert from my left knee on the shoulder to my left foot. So my left knee is going to come back to my chest. As I put my foot in the shoulder, now I can extract my right leg from between her legs, right here, and I'm back into my 4 points of connection. These 4 points of connection are going to allow me to off-balance Sammy and go into an offensive cycle. Okay, so this is usually my first defense. This is the one I use before my opponent actually gets into a good, solid over-under passing position. When I see my opponent setting this up, my first thought is frame against the shoulder. Challenge the shoulder position, because it's the head and shoulder position that pins your hips in place that make this pass so effective. If you can challenge the shoulder position, you can stop their over-under pass before it ever gets started.